Hola, Juan Carlos, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, Val.
Thank you very much. That's great. Fantastic. You have just been on La Palma again, and you have returned yesterday, I understand. Is that right?
Well, I could say that I was lucky to observe precisely the moment that the northern part of the cone collapsed. But of course, here we have to keep in consideration always that the people are losing houses and we cannot be very happy about the process of the eruption.
Yes, I appreciate the dilemma we're in, because as a volcano researcher, this is, of course, a wonderful spectacle, and it allows us to study these processes in incredible detail. It's a lucky strike from a scientific point of view, but from a human, from a social point of view, it's not. And this is the kind of dilemma we're in. So I appreciate that.
Exactly.
So, but indeed, my information is that the cone was building up very rapidly, and in the last day or so, it actually collapsed. Can you tell us a little more about that?
Yeah, but it grows too rapidly and get gravitational unstable and then collapse, and the lava flow just drag the debris out of the cone. After the collapse, the eruptive rate increased dramatically, and there were fountains of lava like in Hawaii coming down. Fortunately, all this lava joined in a single lava that went directly down to the sea and make the lava delta to increase also very rapidly. Now it's almost as large as the 1949 eruption.
Is that right? The lava delta is that big already?
It is very, well, there is a limit. The limit is the abrasion platform that was exactly, that's it.
So here I've just picked this up from the internet. This is from IGN and CSIC. So this is official sources, and this is an aerial view of the lava delta.
Yeah, but this is an old, now is far larger than that.
It's even larger. Yes, this is a day or two old. You're right. I mean, so it's grown even further out, I guess.
Yes, the limit, as I was saying, is the abrasion platform that was carved by in the last glaciation, and it's about 75 or 85 meters distant of the coast. And there, the depth is not very big. It's about 30 or 50 meters. So the lava flow can progress. But once you get to the limit of this abrasion platform, it immediately gets very deep, 300 or 400 meters. So this will be the physical limit of what we see of the lava delta. But it's still, the lava delta can grow laterally and probably join the 1949 eruption. So it's a very big chunk of new island they are going to get there.
Well, I think ultimately, here's a few more impressions. Ultimately, this will, of course, be a spectacular sight on the island. And here you see it growing. Here's the flow coming down. And I guess you're right, it's growing all the time. So this is larger than this footage. And ultimately, judging from the experience we have from the 1949, the 1971, the 1712 deltas, this will be fertile land, or will be converted to fertile land. So, and it's a spectacular sight to see the island growing. But of course, you're right. I mean, once the abrasion platform is overstepped, then the lava will fall off, and it will not build the island forever. So there's a physical limit to how far this process will go. But there was also this talk about this new little vent that opened up a little bit to the north or northwest of the main cone. And let me just share this here. It's footage I've picked up.
This is pouring only lava flow and very, very hot and fluid. And as a result of that, now the lava delta is being fed not only by one lava flow, but also another branch. So in the last day, the lava delta has two two lava flows
feeding it. Okay, yeah. And my understanding is this new flow is very runny, as you say. It's very low viscosity and it flows comparatively fast. So there's a lot of new material and new lava being delivered to the lava platform. But I guess one big question is it mainly the old channels that are used, or is it still widening on land?
Fortunately, these lavas are using exactly the path of the previous one, so they are not making more damage, either houses or of banana plantations. They spend all the energy increasing the size of the lava delta.
That's comforting, because I mean, then it becomes a spectacle, a natural spectacle, rather than creating damage to the local population and the local infrastructure. So let's hope it continues like that. Another point is there has been some earthquakes over the last little while, and they got a little stronger, actually, I hear. Some of them up to 3.5 or so, and some of them in the south of the island. Do you know much about that? Because it seems some people are worried that there could be another vent opening in the south of the island.
Oh yeah, of course. We cannot say that this is not going to happen, but the probability, according to the seismologists, is that this is a normal. Also in El Hierro, the seismicity migrate constantly from the very north of the island to the very south of the island. In the Teneguía eruption, also the seismicity went from Los Llanos to Fuencaliente like a ship several times, but never opened a vent in the opposite side. So apparently, once the volcano is more or less stabilized and is producing such an amount of lava, probably it would be very unlikely that they open another vent. But of course, we cannot say, nobody can say that this is not going to happen.
I agree. I don't think one can be sure, but let's hope that the supply channels are now maintained and that they're established, and that the migrating magma will keep these supply channels as the main route for feeding the eruption. And hopefully the lava that comes out will continue to be traveling downhill in these established channels, because then we can all, with enjoyment, watch the lava delta growing and don't have to worry about the local population being any more affected than they are already. So this would be the ideal outcome, I think.
Anyway, Val, my feeling the last night I was there, it was that the volcano is far from waning. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's not waning yet. No,
it's not waning at all. My impression is that it's stronger than ever.
Okay, so from your gut feeling, I guess it's very hard to put reality checks on that, but your gut feeling would tell you that it's going to go for a few more weeks.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Well, it's now a little over 2 weeks, I think, since the eruption started. So we know that these type of eruptions on La Palma and in the Canary Islands, they take several weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is not unusual for these kind of things. So it would not be surprising in a scientific context to have it erupting for another 2-3 weeks. So I can see that also being in support of your gut feeling here.
Well, the Teneguía eruption lasted 24 days. And this volcano in 10 days doubled the lava produced by the Teneguía and the 1949 eruption together. So this is a big...
it's a bigger event, yes.
And I will be surprised if suddenly will wane and stop. That's not the...
There was one question on YouTube I got, and that is somebody wondered whether the eruption is bigger because it was accumulating under the volcano and didn't get a release. And I mean, I said, yeah, that seems reasonable. Because we know that we have these underplating zones, but of course Only further work, only detailed work will shed light on whether we really had the mass accumulation under the island on a grand scale, or whether this is magma that's rather freshly fed from greater depth. I think that given that the last eruption was 50 years ago, there was sufficient time to accumulate some magma. And there was also some earthquakes already getting a little stronger up to a year ago, I think. So I think people had an inkling, at least the scientists had an inkling, that there was magma that was kind of getting ready for an eruption.
Exactly. That's the normal behavior in Cumbre Vieja is this the eruption. Actually, this eruption is more likely the 1585 eruption that is called GDI.
Yeah.
The one that Torriani, an Italian engineer, he came to build a castle in Santa Cruz and coincided with the eruption and make a very nice report, and the seismicity was very high. And it's very like this one. And
every now and then, not every eruption, but every now and then there's a stronger eruption. And I guess this is what we're witnessing now. So it's interesting that you mentioned the 1585 eruption, because Torriani has left some great reports. We've talked about it in our book. And he also kind of reported that there was material being pushed out from the strength of the volcano and all that. And actually the 1585 vents are not quite, they're not so far away from the current vents, if I remember correctly.
It's very close, yes.
It's very close, actually. So it is that area. And yeah, so from that point of view, historical features do help us a little bit to understand the current eruption. Well, Juan Carlos, thank you very much for the update. And we'll be in touch about more aspects on La Palma and other aspects of the geology of the Canaries. But for now, I say thank you for this update. I'll try to get this to our viewers as quickly as possible, and we'll be in touch very soon.
Sure,
thank you, Juan Carlos.
Before I forget, there is apparently is building a lava tube, a very large lava tube. So people are very enthusiastic about that, because there is another, the 1949 eruption has a very famous lava tube, the Todoque lava tube, just parallel. So it will be very interesting to see if people in the future can have a touristic attraction.
Yes, because you're right. I remember when I was there last time, there was a little volcano park or theme park around the Todoque lava tube. And you had to pay entrance fee, I think. So I was kind of, driving around a little and walking around a little. I didn't go into the main attraction of the tourist site, but I thought it was a lovely site, and that people are putting effort in to make this available to people. So indeed, there could be a long-term plan to make this into something. Let's hope it survives, because some of these lava tubes could be very temporary features.
Exactly. But any help to these people that are suffering so much will be welcome.
Absolutely. So, I mean, one can but hope that there will be some long-term benefits coming from that. And I mean, I got a question from Swedish television, what will happen to the large lava fields? And I had to kind of be quite honest. These are what locals call Malpais. It's not something you can immediately use. You can't put houses on it immediately. And
there is a new outcome. In the Teneguía eruption, they managed to make a law that any new land gained to the sea by any volcano will be public property. So this will be in the future probably a volcanic park, thematic park. And that's very interesting, because it's going to be a very large and very interesting to visit.
Yes, that's great. No, what I meant is that it's very hard to kind of build houses on the lava flow further inland, not on the platform. You can't do that anyway. But inland, it's also, you can't put banana plantations again on it. I mean, the lava flow will be a rough land for quite some time. And this is, of course, very sad for people who lost their land, lost their properties there.
Well, these Canarian people are very clever using these these Malpaises. Remember, Cesar Manrique has a beautiful house using the Pahoehoe lavas. And also these people learned long ago to bring fertile soil from other parts of the island and make artificial soil and plant bananas in a year. So in a year they could be growing bananas in this.
I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I'm aware of Cesar Manrique making it a piece of art with his house and with his kind of strange sculpture where the impression is given that the lava would come through the window and things like that. But I mean, I think it's going to take a little longer than a year to make a plantation out of the current lava fields on land. I mean, but we will see about that.
Okay. Yeah.
Hopefully there will be some good outcomes. I think that's the main point.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Juan Carlos, and we'll talk soon about further matters, and thank you for your time. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.